duking it out here on 29. We'll get game number 3 counted down up at the top in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
This is me, one game away from advancing to Championship Sunday in the 2024 Classic Tetris World Championships. Hang on, there are Tetris tournaments? This might take a while to explain, so let's go back to the very beginning. In 1990, the first competitive NES Tetris event took place, in the form of the 1990 Nintendo World Championships. This event would mark the beginning of one of the most unique competitive gaming progressions ever. In the near 35-year lifespan of competitive Tetris, it's never stopped changing, from new playstyles, technology, and advancements in the community. Today, I will be taking you through this journey in time, exploring all the developments and intricacies of this incredible competitive scene. Following the 1990 Nintendo World Championships, the competitive scene would remain dormant for nearly 20 years. However, in late 2010, Robin Mihara, along with Vince Clemente and Ecstasy of Order director Adam Cornelius, organized the first ever Classic Tetris World Championships, otherwise known as CTWC. CTWC looked to emulate the format of the Nintendo World Championships in a 3-part format. A few select participants were invited directly to participate, including the first 2 people to score over 1 million points, also known as a max out, Jonas Neubauer and Harry Hong, as well as 1990 Nintendo World Championships winner Thor Ackerland. The last few spots were determined through open qualifying, in which players scored the most points possible in 25 lines of level 18 speed. Before we get into the tournament, let's go through a brief overview of how scoring in NES Tetris works. In NES Tetris, you gain points by clearing horizontal lines across the Tetris board. The more lines you clear at once, the more points you get. When you clear 4 lines at once, it's called a Tetris. Therefore, the ideal strategy is to clear as many Tetrises as possible, while avoiding clearing 3 lines or less at a time, also known as burns. As you score lines, the game will progress through a level system, with the speed changing at various points. In competition, most games start at level 18, where pieces fall from the top of the board to the bottom in 1 second. When players reach level 19, the game speeds up to 2/3 of a second. And finally, at level 29, the game reaches its final killer speed of 1/3 of a second. This speed, dubbed level 29, in the name the kill screen. After the 8 qualifying players had been determined, they went through a 3-game format to determine the top 2 players. First, they were ranked based on number of lines cleared, then ranked on best scores across 2 games. The 2 best players were determined to be Jonas and Harry. Once this was decided, they played in a 3-game head-to-head, where they would compete to see who could score the most points in a single game. First person to win 2 games would win the set. Jonas ended up taking the win in a 2-0 victory.
The first games of the finals, NES Tetris 2011. Who will it be?
1 year later, CTWC 2011 took place in California once again. Few changes for this year's tournament were made. Qualifying was mostly the same, though competitors could choose to start on a much faster level 19 speed in exchange for a 100,000 point bonus in reward for starting on level 19. However, a significant change was made to the tournament play. After qualifying, the top 8 seeds were put into an 8-player single elimination bracket. All matches were best of 3, and Jonas once again won in dominating fashion, not losing a single game all tournament in order to take his 2nd championship in a row.
And it's over! We have
jump from 2011 to 2012 showed quite a few changes in the World Championships, mainly being the move from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon. In addition, qualifiers now used the A-type mode in Tetris. Players would wait in line to try and achieve a new high score. After the qualifying time was over, the top 32, instead of the normal 8, were shuffled into a bracket. The bracket period of the tournament went mostly the same as usual, with Jonas making it to the finals pretty convincingly, only dropping one game in the semifinals against Eli Markstrom, and then ended up sweeping Mike Winzenek in the finals, both extremely talented players. This was also the first time a player other than first was played out, with Mike Winzenek receiving $500 for placing second, while Jonas got the usual $1,000 for first.
2012 Tetris Classic World Championship for the third year in a row. Your champion, Jonas Neubauer.
There were no notable changes in 2013, however, Jonas was the first person to achieve the maximum possible score in qualifiers, achieving 999,999 and taking first seed, prompting a rules change in 2014. The bracket stage was ordinary, with Jonas and Harry making it to the finals, where things got interesting. After the first two games, Harry was up 2-0. All he needed was one more win, and he would become the second ever world champion.
This is historic. Harry is now ahead 2 games.
In Game 3, however, Jonas seemed to turn on another gear, being up nearly 200,000 points at the transition to level 19. Harry fought back to be only 80,000 points behind in level 25, but ended up topping out due to over-aggression. In Game 4, Harry found himself in the lead entering level 19. However, after an unfortunate top out in level 22, Jonas managed to chase down the score, bringing it to a deciding Game 5. In the last game, Harry was once again in the lead nearing level 19. However, after entering 19 with a high up board, he received no pieces to cleanly burn down, and topped out, leaving Jonas able to comfortably chase down before the transition. In 2014, a substantial change was made to the qualifying rules, officially declaring that if two people both maxed out in qualifying, their rank would be tie-broken by their highest non-max out score. On the bracket stage, Jonas and Harry's paths aligned once again, as they both made their way to the finals with little issues, Harry only dropping one game and Jonas dropping none. After 3 games, Harry found himself once again up 2-1 against Jonas. Winning one more game would make him the second ever CTWC champion. Harry seemed locked in, entering the transition up nearly 100,000 points in Game 4. Showing no signs of letup, it seemed like this might be his year to take it. As both players pushed into the later levels, Jonas seemed to start panicking, causing misdrops and forcing him into a dig for an extended period of time. Harry capitalized on every second of this, growing up to a 150,000 point lead. Feeling the pressure, Jonas tried to set up multiple risky Tetrises and ended up topping out. Harry had won.
Have a new champion for the first time, Harry Hong!
Despite being a longtime competitor, Harry winning CTWC was a breath of fresh air in the Tetris community. This was the first big sign that Jonas could be beaten, and inspired organizers to keep organizing CTWC every year. The next few years passed by very quickly in the competitive scene, with Jonas winning CTWC another 3 years in a row. That inspiration was starting to die down, and it looked like it was back to normal. One thing was very clear: nobody was beating Jonas, at least nobody who is currently in the community.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. 33. Level 33. Heck yes.
Almost out of nowhere, a new teenage sensation appeared. His name? Joseph Saelee. Bringing impressive stacking and shockingly fast tapping to the table, his appearance at 2018 CTWC was intimidating to say the least. On his road to the finals, he crushed multiple top competitors, including his idol, Corion, who is the one who gave him the blueprints for his incredible hyper-tapping technique, and also former world champion Harry and European champion Yanni. And then, he somehow found himself up 2-0 against Jonas in the finals. This was unheard of for a rookie at CTWC. However, it wasn't going to be that easy. With the pressure of 7 years of winning the championship and wanting more, Jonas turned on another gear, scoring Tetris after Tetris onto level 19 speeds. He built up an impressive lead, but then he topped out nearing the level 29 speeds. Keeping his composure, Joseph closed in on the chase down. For Joseph, everything went quiet. Nearing the kill screen, he was only one Tetris away, and then...
And a long bar, is it
up.
going to come? Where is it? Or is there going to be a drought? How's this going to play out? Oh, he takes the double.
Perfect. It's set up now. He's still
And
There's the
takes the
long
double.
bar.
Boom!
There it is.
Tetris for Joseph!
And yours.
And we have a new Tetris World Champion. 16-year-old Joseph Saelee has done it.
Following the Joseph win, it was clear that the reign of longtime veterans was over. With new players sprouting up all over the place, the future of the competitive scene was thriving. At CTWC 2019, Joseph looked to repeat success, pushing his way all the way to the semi-finals before facing another young prodigy, Green Tea. On paper, this matchup was incredibly competitive, but nobody could have predicted what would actually happen in their match. After 2 incredibly close games, both players were inching towards a max-out score, a score that had never been achieved by both players in a competitive match before. Joseph got his first, and then Green Tea hung a long bar on the right side. It looked like the double max out dream might be over, but then Green Tea pulled off an insane last second tap to get the bar over, and they double maxed out. Joseph went on to continue his strong play and take the match, achieving his second CTWC win in a row after beating Corion once again. Following Joseph's second win, things seem very bright in the future of NES Tetris. Maybe a little too bright.
Viral pneumonia has hit central China's Wuhan city. Authorities have reported 27 cases in total.
It's a new type of coronavirus.
Mystery virus they'd hoped to contain.
Until this March 11th.
Good morning on this Wednesday, March 11th.
Wednesday, March 11th.
Hope you guys are exhaling, taking a minute for yourselves in the midst of all the chaos and confusion.
I just looked at my notes from that day, and it was a most unusual day.
For the first time in the scene's history, CTWC would be held online. However, during this time, the community saw its biggest growth in players yet. With everyone staying inside, new people rose to the top faster than ever. In addition, a monthly tournament started, dubbed Classic Tetris Monthly, aka CTM, as well as a round-robin style league named Classic Tetris League. And, well, instead of telling you about all these new players, let me just show you.
I'm Cheese, and I'm in the top 8 for CTWC 2020.
Hello, I'm Dog playing Tetris, and I'm in top 8 of CTWC.
I'm Huff, and I'm in the top 8 of...
My name is Sam Fitch, and I'm in the top 8.
Hello, my name is Devanyanenu, I'm in the CTWC top 8.
My name is Pixelandy, and I'm in the CTWC top 8.
My name is Alan, and I'm in the top 8 for CTWC 2020.
A very enticing storyline sprung out of this bracket. The two brothers, Dog and Andy, had both made the top 8. and they were on the opposite sides of the bracket. If the stars aligned, they could potentially meet in the finals. With Joseph being taken out in the top 8, the matchup seemed even more likely. And then when Dog advanced to the finals, all Andy had to do was beat Nenu to make the dream a reality.
One Tetris of tying it up, and just waiting for the log bar. Boom, Tetris for Andy. And Andy's got a slight lead in a neck-and-neck scoring difference here. And Andy took the lead now, 36,000 points ahead. Nenu now behind at 803 for Nenu and 8.
Andy did it. He had beaten Nenu, and now he would move on and face Dog in the finals. This was it. Brother vs. brother finals. In the year where CTWC had to go online, the finals would still be held under the same roof. Throughout the match, Andy took a quick 2-0 lead. To Dog's dismay, it looked like his older brother would prevail. But then, after 2 top-outs from Andy before the kill screen, Dog was able to pull it back to 2-2. In the deciding Game 5, Dog managed to keep a 2 Tetris lead pulling towards the kill screen. As he maxed out, he looked over at Andy's screen. And this was his reaction, realizing he had just become the 4th world champion ever.
Do it! He can't do it! Dog has taken it! He's made the comeback from down 0-2, and he is the champion!
We have a new Tetris World Champion here in 2020. It's Dog playing Tetris.
And there you go, coming back 0-2. You see the high five between the brothers here on the screen. He has done it. The 0-2 comeback.
Following CTWC 2020, players waited tensively on an announcement about CTWC 2021 and whether or not it would be back in person. And then, on June 8th, an official announcement was made. CTWC 2021 would be held online for the 2nd year in a row. However, there were some positives to this. Players who didn't have the funds to make it out to CTWC in Portland could still play online, such as Nenu, the 4th place finisher in CTWC 2020. CTWC 2021 was a spectacle filled with many tight matches and nail-biting games. But at the end of the day, Dog and Andy still played each other, this time in the semi-finals. This set between the two was heated, with many double max-out games. Dog ended up taking the set 3-1 over his brother, moving on to play Huff in the finals.
Do it! Dog takes the win and will be the brother to advance to the final 2, but what a showing by Andy.
In the finals, Dog found himself up 2-1 against Huff, an up-and-coming rising star. Looking to secure a 2nd crown, Dog garnered a big lead heading toward the kill screen, scoring an incredible 1.2 million and topping out on level 30. Dog watched as Huff tried his best to eke out lines on the kill screen and catch up, but it wasn't enough. Dog had won his 2nd title in a row. However, Huff had been doing something other than tapping or dancing. Throughout 2021, many players had been working on reinventing the way the game was played. Though little players were finding much success, that was until Cheese came along. After seeing a video by Hector Fly on how to generate extremely fast button inputs by rolling the fingers over arcade buttons, Cheese tried to transfer this to an NES controller. While the D-pad was too small to roll his fingers on top, Cheese tried something else, rolling the back of the controller in order to push the D-pad into a thumb placed on top. This became rolling. Throughout 2022, players started to develop a better handle on rolling, with the sights of being the next top player. Out of the many chasing that goal, 6 stood out as the best of the world leading up to CTWC. Of course, we already know a few of them. Dog, the 2-time world champ, and his brother Andy led the pack, along with 2021 CTWC second place Huff, along with 3 other players who were near the top during the tapping era: Alex Thatch, Fractal, and Eric ICX. After the announcement was made that CTWC was going to be back at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo for 2022, these players started making their preparations for the event. It was going to be interesting to see how their skills would translate to a live event setting, as many of them lacked much in-person experience. These 6 players dominated the qualifying stage, where each player got 2 hours of play to rack up as many max outs as possible, with Fractal getting first seed, Eric getting second, Dog, Andy, Huff getting 3rd to 5th seed respectively. Despite having the best stats during online matches, Alex seemed to struggle with nerves a little and got 8th seed. Additionally, Alex was the only player out of the 6 to not make it to the top 8, getting upset by Sidnev in top 16. As the remaining 5 started running into each other, the remaining players started dwindling down, until it was only Fractal and Eric left in the finals. Game 1 started out hot, with the 2 players showcasing the true power of rolling, making it all the way to the late level 40s. Fractal topped out with 1.53 million. Under the pressure, Eric missed a 5-tap, cutting off burn opportunities, and quickly spiraled, unable to complete the chase down. While Game 2 was still phenomenal, Fractal ended up making it to level 36 and topping out with a 1.32. Staying calm this time, Eric was able to chase the score down. The match was tied 1-1. However, if Game 1 and 2 were showcasing rolling, Game 3 was where things really went off the walls. First, they made it to level 40, then 50, then 60.
Cover the well. Needs another one. Wow. Wow! Tetris for Fractal.
A Tetris at level 67. A Tetris at level 67.
And look at that lead jump. All the way up to 190,000 point lead. Oh, look at Eric. Eric! Answering back with another one.
As they went through the 60s, both players were able to get an unbelievable 2 million points each. And well, I'll just let you see for yourselves how the game ends. With Eric up 2-1, the pressure was on for Fractal, and yet, the end seemed to almost come too soon. With rough pieces on level 28, Fractal entered the kill screen with a rough board. He tried to do his best to claw his way down, but maybe, due to all the stress and exhaustion of playing all weekend, he just couldn't manage the dig. Topping out at 972,000, Eric was able to quickly chase it down. He had become the new Classic Tetris World Champion.
ICX with the endurance strategy has become your 2022 CTWC champion!
We have a new champion, Eric ICX!
With players being able to last indefinitely on the kill screen, tournament organizers began to question if it would be necessary to force players to stop at a certain point. The main breaking point was a world record run in competition from Eric, pushing all the way to level 146. The game lasted a staggering 37 minutes, over 3 times the length of a standard competition game. The solution? Speed up the game again at level 39, with pieces now falling from the top of the screen to the bottom in 1/6 of a second. The game would become virtually unplayable at that point, thus dubbed the double kill screen. Leading into CTWC 2023, players were now forced to practice stacking for Tetrises on the kill screen, rather than just focusing on survival, resulting in much more highly advanced gameplay on the fastest speeds. The main players of focus going into CTWC 2023 seemed to be about the same. However, Eric hadn't been practicing as much due to college and other things, so a repeat victory seemed unlikely. One player who stuck out in qualifying was Sidnev, who managed to have a nearly perfect qualifier, scoring 16 max outs and getting first seed going into the tournament. Looking for redemption from last year, Fractal came in with a vengeance, but his path to finals wasn't going to be easy. He had to play CTWC 2020 runner-up Andy in the top 8, and then 2-time champ Dog in top 4. However, this didn't seem to faze him at all, as he swept both players dominantly. It looked like this might be Fractal's year. His opponent in the finals was none other than the first seed Sidnev. In Game 1, both players pushed each other, getting max outs into the kill screen, and immediately starting to go for Tetrises. Sidnev took the early lead on the kill screen, but then Fractal started to claw back, even holding the lead on 36. But after some rough misdrops, Fractal's board started to spiral, and he ultimately ended up topping out at 1.4 million. Already in the lead, Sidnev took Game 1. Fractal had lost in his first game of the tournament, and he seemed to be running out of steam. In Game 2, both players transitioned into the kill screen with over 1.1 million points, but after a few deadly misdrops, Fractal topped out, with Sidnev still in the lead. Sidnev was now up 2-0 for the championship title. This was it. Fractal had to win 3 straight games to win the championship, while Sidnev only had to win 1. Throughout Game 3, this looked more promising than it had seemed. Fractal took a 70,000 point lead nearing the kill screen. All he had to do was hold on to it in order to take the game. But then, Sidnev had a few scary misdrops. While her amazing speed kept her alive a bit longer, she inevitably ended up topping out. With Fractal in the lead, he had taken Game 3, and the set was now 1-2. Throughout Game 4, both players showcased incredible efficiency, both getting over 75% of their line clears before the kill screen with Tetrises. This didn't slow down on 29 either, as both players kept pushing the pace, double 1.2s, then double 1.3s. They couldn't keep this up forever. And then, a drought struck right as Sidnev was building up for a Tetris on level 33. With her stat climbing higher, there was nothing she could do. She ended up topping out at 1.36 million, right behind Fractal's 1.4 million. This was it. Fractal had forced it into a deciding Game 5. 2-2, this next game would decide the champion. And, almost ironically, Game 5 went quite the opposite of how Game 4 went. The RNG almost seemed to be trying to kill them early, with both players going through a series of digs throughout 18 and 19, only scoring about half of their line clears with Tetris going into the kill screen. However, regardless of all this, they still stayed neck and neck, but as they entered the kill screen, both players seemed to really ramp it up. Tetris after Tetris, showcasing amazing survival skills. Both players made it all the way to level 35 and 36 while going aggressive. Then, they both topped out simultaneously. Looking over at each other's boards, they quickly realized 2-1. Fractal had done it. He pulled off the reverse sweep with all the pressure on. Both players jumped up in shock, and ending up with a celebratory hug. But the future for competitive Tetris certainly looked bright.
Completed the reverse sweep!
What an ending! A top out at the simul top out at super kill screen at kill screen time. And Fractal, runner-up last year, champion this year.
What a story!
The greatest back-to-back performance by any player in CTWC history.
Following CTWC 2023, players began going for a new target. When you survive long enough on an original Tetris game, the code starts to break down bit by bit. It starts with the level counter breaking on level 30, displaying 0-0 instead of 30. Then, once you make it all the way to level 138, the level color system breaks down due to a faulty calculation. This is because the game developers never intended for anyone to make it this far. As a result, the game starts reading different parts of code in an attempt to generate color palettes. This became named the glitch colors. Eric was the first person to make it to colors, in his 6.4 million game back in 2022. But nobody had made it there since then. However, Fractal had a new goal in mind. He wanted to make it so far that the game's code would completely break down, causing the game to stop working. The first trigger for this was clearing a single line into level 155, with multiple other crash triggers later on. Throughout December, they began to work on it, but then, on December 21st, 2023, history was made.
Finally, the 13-year-old gamer who achieved something that was unthinkable for decades. He broke Tetris.
The first time ever, someone finally defeated Tetris.
Prodigy from Oklahoma, Willis Gibson.
Game Tetris has finally met its match. 13-year-old American Willis Gibson in late December became the first player to officially beat the original Nintendo version of the game.
Blue Scooty, a 13-year-old player, had become the first player to crash the game. While the achievement was phenomenal, the attention that it brought to the scene was even more unprecedented. Lots of press showed up to events in Austin, Texas, and Southern California, where Scooty competed. Leading up to CTWC 2024, many big changes were made. First, it was announced that CTWC would be returning to California for the championships. In addition, they were moved 4 months earlier. It would be taking place in June instead of October. Lastly, the production quality for CTWC would be improving drastically, with a professional camera crew, professional photography, and the addition of a documentary being filmed. This looked to be the biggest one yet. The competition leading up to CTWC seemed to be fiercely close. Many people looked capable of winning. It was looking to be an exciting championship. Then came the day. The 2024 World Championships. On Friday, everyone showed up to qualify. As people qualified, the cutoff climbed higher and higher, until eventually, 4 max outs and a low 900,000 was required to make it into the main bracket of 48.
Saturday passed quick.
With matches going by and top players winning their matches in order to move on to the next and final day of top 16. And now, we finally made it to where this video began. As I was up 2-0, a quick early top out from my opponent finished the match, and I had moved on to the final day to compete alongside some of the best NES Tetris players in the world. Final day started bright and early. As the players took their top 16 photos, the first matches got set up and ready. Up first was the kid who beat Tetris and hoped to make a deep run in the top 16, Blue Scooty. He was facing none other than, well, myself. On the other side, reigning world champion Fractal was facing a long-time top player, Tristan. After a couple of disappointing games from his opponent, Scooty took a 2-0 lead. However, in Game 3, things looked to be close. Both players entered the kill screen with a near max out scores, but just as soon as they got going, they seemed to crash out just as quick. With Scooty topping out at just over a max out, his opponent, Cole, had only a short chase down. With the center wall set up, he hoped to close the gap, but maybe due to nerves, he ended up misdropping the bar to get the Tetris. His board quickly spiraled, and though he was able to get the last Tetris, it was too late. Scooty moved on to the top 8. On the other side, Tristan was playing excellently. Taking every game deep into the kill screen, he managed to pull off the upset, taking out the defending world champion. Moving on to quarterfinals, Tristan continued his generational run, forcing the best out of Scooty. He was able to take out the kid who beat Tetris and move on to the semifinals. It was in the semifinals, however, that Tristan would be met with an equally scary opponent. He would be playing the current world record holder and player generally deemed as #1 into the world heading into CTWC 2024, Alex Thatch. Game 1 was already intense, with both players pushing each other to 1.5 million points. Alex was able to pull ahead and take Game 1. In Game 2, things didn't go quite as far. Feeling the pressure from being down 200,000 points, Tristan ended up missing a crucial tap to score a Tetris on level 31, and subsequently topping out, giving Alex Game 2. In Game 3, Alex seemed to lose steam. After cascading misdrops on level 30, he wasn't able to survive much longer.
There's a flapper.
Needs to get the 5 tap to the left.
Nice, go for the L burn.
Okay.
What can you
No
do?
eyepiece, there it is.
No.
Wait, hold on, it's still possible.
Oh my God, look at this burn.
You're right, Sharky. He's flat burning it down.
You have to go for those flat burns when you're up this high. That L piece is your best friend. But now, Alex
topping out at 1.2 million points. Alex dropped Game 3 and was now only up 2-1. Unfortunately for Alex, similar things seemed to plague him in Game 4. After placing a Z piece on level 30 that he thought would clear a line, it didn't end up clearing the line, which threw off his rhythm and caused him to top out early, already behind Tristan. The match was now tied 2-2. However, in Game 5, neither player held back. With double max outs in the kill screen, they started an enthralling duel on the fastest speed in the game.
Well.
Oh, this might be a little bit tricky for Alex T to maneuver out of. Oh no.
Oh, it's Myers.
Oh my goodness.
Tetris with Alex T.
161,000
points ahead.
Oh, and the spin!
What?
Oh, that's so clutch. That's going to help fix everything up.
Speed, that's impossible.
Well, he just did it, so it's definitely possible. Tetris over there for Tetris stop. She goes for the 5-tap for the aggression and knocks down a Tetris.
Tetris for Tetris stop.
Alexia set up again. There's another one for Alex. Stop is in trouble. Alexia knocks down another Tetris. That might be the
Funnily enough, as Alex took game 5, the score counter on the stream overlay broke, shooting all the way up to 62 million. This was it, the final match. It was the 2-time world champion Dog versus the 15-year-old world record holder Alex T, who had come out on top. Game 1 started out rocky for Dog. After a missed spin and some rough placements, Dog topped out on level 23, giving Alex an easy Game 1 victory. Alex was up 1-0. Between games, Dog ran over and swapped his chair. Puzzled, the staff looked at the chair he swapped, realizing it was damaged. The chair swap seemed to do the trick for Dog. In Game 2, he entered the kill screen nearly 50,000 points in the lead. Dog continued to carry the momentum on 29, as his lead continued to grow, up to over 130,000 points. Entering level 37, Alex started to spiral, eventually topping out at 1.4 million points, giving Dog the Game 2 victory. In Game 3, both players quickly racked up 1.1 million points at the start of level 29, gearing up for another killstream duel. However, while trying to set up a Tetris on level 30, Alex missed what would usually be a pretty easy 5-tap. His reaction to this was the first time he looked genuinely scared all tournament. Although he got a bailout longer to lower the stack with the Tetris, the misdrops continued to spire. But then, Dog misdropped while trying to look at Alex's screen. This caused him to quickly spiral and top out. Alex narrowly took Game 3. Both players collapsed on the floor in shock, stumbling back to their seats in order to prepare for Game 4. Game 4, Dog and Alex cruised their way to the kill screen, both going in around 1 million points. Quickly building for Tetrises, Alex tried to gain a lead, but then both players ended up in scary dig situations. But then, after a few dangerous misdrops, Alex topped out on level 33 just as Dog passed his score.
A lot of pressure that was put up on the players. Alex T, when it could have been over, but then he hit a 5-tap that looked almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
And it still wasn't enough for him to take the championship.
This was it. Game number 5. It all comes down to this. Both players transitioned to level 19 just 9 points apart. Out of all games, this was promising to be the most thrilling. Alex seemed to really turn it up in the post-transition phase of the game, transitioning to level 29 at 1.16 million points. 2 Tetrises ahead of Dog. Could Alex keep up to deliver on his first World Championship whenever? Well, this 29 play was so good, and instead of telling you about it, let's just watch it together.
He goes for the skim. He needs a long bar. Gets it over to the right. He's set up for another Tetris, but does he find it soon enough time? Goes for a double, holding out patiently, and another Tetris. Safety double, makes a misdrop, but not before knocking down a Tetris, and now it's Dog's turn as he knocks down one as well.
Alex is starting to get messy. He's gonna need to clean.
Dog is set up for the Tetris.
He went for the triple, and now the double. Look at this great clean by Alex. Back to
Dog battling back. Boom! Tetris the dog. Only 128.
What was once a 200,000 point lead just got cut down to 131,000. Make that less than 100,000.
Dog is catching up.
Alex C's not found himself in a scoring position that needs to address that left side.
Double, and yeah, like again, when you're at the speed, you don't have time to think about everything. You got to just go with your gut.
He needs an eyepiece, and he needs it now.
Oh, actually, that triple was great. That triple was great, and he's almost all the way back down. There it is, Alex, all the way back down to a neutral board. But that whole entire time, Dog has been still scoring well as well.
Alex C, there's a Tetris back into a 100,000 point lead.
Dog ready for a Tetris. Long bar needed.
They're both at level 35.
Look at that tug from Alex C. Another Tetris. Dog finds win as well. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Alex maintaining aggression.
They're running out of time here.
There's
39.
another Tetris for Dog. There's another Tetris for Alex C.
Oh no!
Dog.
Look at that hang over there. Yeah.
Oh no!
Over there. He can't get over there. Alex T. Alex T. is your CTW 2024 champion.
And that was it. With the highest score of all tournament, Alex had taken the title. After years of trying, he finally achieved his dream. With how much the Tetris community has grown the past year, I have no doubt we'll continue to see newer and more exciting players. As of writing this video, there's already an 8-year-old prodigy looking to achieve the first max-out game by someone under 10 years old. He's currently at 950,000 points. On October 5th, 2024, we saw the first rebirth by none other than Dog. After blasting through 255 levels and an astonishing 3,300 lines, it looped back to level 0.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
I'm sure CTWC 2025 will be better than ever. I won't stop practicing for it, and neither will any of my competitors. As the skill level continues to grow at the top, the build-up becomes more and more exciting. Thank you for watching. This project was so long in the making, nearly a year, and I'm sure more like this will be out in the future.
Something changed, my heart could not contain the miracle of this world and all that it creates. With every passing day, the winds might grow stronger and carry us away, but we will hold on to joy to light the way. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this love. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this love. We're all connected in this love. Even if each of us are miles and miles away, we'll build a bridge from our love to come back home again. With every passing day, the winds might grow stronger and carry us away.